Hello. As you can see today, I'm back at the lake, and for a variety of reasons, I'm actually making a sunrise video rather than a sunset video. Um, right now, it's coming up to Semana Santa, and it's also the beginning of an election year. And so, yesterday evening, when I was going to make my Trecena video for you all, it ended up being super noisy down here with political things and churches and all that kind of thing. And so I thought, well, you know what? I'm sure it can wait just a little while, and I'll make one in the morning as early as I can. So here we are. This is sunrise at Lake Atitlan, which I hope that you'll enjoy. So today I'm going to be speaking with you about the Trecena of Ix. And so the Trecena of Ix, what do we know about Ix? The connection with the heart of Mother Earth, the connection with she who provides all for us, the connection with our mother. And also we see it as a connection with the altars and the shrines, the connection with the sacred spaces, the connection with the magic of the earth, and the connection with our own magic. And so for me, the Trecena of Ix is about remembering all of those things. Remembering how we can connect with Mother Earth. Remembering how we can connect with the sacred places of our world. And remembering how we can connect with the sacred within ourselves. And so we're going to begin the Trecena of Ix on the day 1 Ix, of course. 1 Ix. Oh, here we are, that's today. 1 Ix we could see as the renewal of that magic, because we have the 1 representing beginnings, representing freshness. We could see it as a reconnection with the heart of Mother Earth. We could see it as a reconnection with our own magic, because, as we go through life, sometimes, things happen. We get a bit jaded about things or whatever, and we forget that, it's up to us to connect. It's up to us to make our connection, to go and find the sacred spaces, to go and find our way of connecting with Mother Earth, to remember what we can do for her, go and see her beauty again. And as a part of that, also remember of what she can bring to us by going and making our ceremonies, going and connecting with her in the way that we connect, and asking her for what we need in life. And so, really, for me, this is, a symbiotic relationship. We look after her, she looks after us, and all that kind of thing. And so it's a great day to kind of have another look, have a renewed look about how you can work with Mother Earth and see what magic it might bring. From 1 Ix, we're then going into 2 Tz'ikin. Tz'ikin, the Nawal of the birds, the Nawal of the vision. And here we see it paired with the number 2, representing duality. It can also represent partnerships and relationships and lovers. But really what I'm seeing on the 2 Tz'ikin day is about being able to really see the differences in stark contrast. Now, one of the things that I like to say and see with 2 Tz'ikin, we can see that Tz'ikin, when Tz'ikin is flying high and getting an overview of everything, it gets a much better perspective of life. It gets a much better perspective of what's going on. And the number 2, representing duality, representing polarity, can be very much about seeing both sides of the story. Because when you're getting that higher perspective, when you're flying high, you see, right, okay, you got this over there, you got that over there, right, okay, now I can see what they're talking about, and I can see what they're talking about. And as such, Tz'ikin can kind of come back to Earth and be the mediator, be the broker between these 2 opposing elements, be the broker between 2 rivals, as it were. And perhaps by having that overall vision, then Tz'ikin can help to broker a peace between the two polarities. And so, if you have the opportunity to do that, to act as a peacemaker, by seeing the bigger picture, by seeing two opposing views, then maybe to Tz'ikin is a great day to put that into action. We can also see that with Tu Tz'ikin, this might be having a, let's say, a longer term view with regards to relationships and relationship issues. And for me, kind of like sometimes, I would say that seeing things in stark contrast can sometimes be something which is maybe not exactly, let's say, people wouldn't see as beneficial, but sometimes we need that. It's like it gives us the clarity to see, right, this is how we go in that way, that's how we go in that way. And it brings us a choice of which vision we wish to follow, because we can see on Tu Tz'ikin that one vision will take us in that direction, the other vision will take us in that direction. And it's our time to choose. Use the guidance, use the vision of the bird to help us to choose, are we going that way or that way? Because it's time to choose which vision you want to bring in. From Tu Tz'ikin, we then go into 3 Ajmak. So Ajmak, the Nawal of the human, the Nawal of forgiveness. And the number 3, representing the inner world, representing the home. So this is a day to forgive yourself. This is a day to accept that, we don't always get things right. And maybe as we've gone through our life, we're looking at this in the Trecena of Ix. We're looking at this in relationship to our relationship with Mother Earth, in relationship to the sacred spaces around us and within us. And maybe we don't treat any of them as well as we could do. Maybe we could be looking after the local altars a bit better. Maybe we could be looking after the sacred within ourselves a little bit better. Maybe we could be doing a little bit more than we do for Mother Earth. Well, here we are in the Trecena of Ix, renewing those things. But in order to renew them, it's kind of like we've got to put our energy into the way that we want to go forwards. And we might recognize that we haven't always done things the best way that we could have done them in the past, but there's no point in hanging on to that. There's no point in being guilty about it, because that's only going to sap our energy of going forwards. So 3 Ajmak, I really see very much as the forgiveness of self. It's looking within to say, right, okay, yeah, you know what, that happened. I did what I did at that point in time, and I'm only human, and I'll do my best to make a better go of it as I go forward. So, for me, 3 Ajmak holds a lot of those elements. It's looking within to see where forgiveness needs to be. Looking within your home to see, kind of like how to accept yourselves, those around you, for the humans that we are. Kind of like the messy bits of us as well as the beautiful bits of us, and realise that it's all sacred. From 3 Ajmak, we then move into 4 Noch. This is one of the local, I call them coots because they look like coots to me, or moorhens, these black birds. Some people call them patapok. These birds that live in the reeds on the lake, and of course, being as it's morning, they're singing rather a lot. So anyway, the day 4 Noch. Noch representing the mind, representing intellect, intelligence, representing the solving of problems. And here with the number 4 representing the physical plane of existence, representing the 4 cardinal points. Noch representing our understanding and how to put things together to come up with a solution. And here we see it in the practical realm. Well, it's pretty obvious what this is about. We've gone through 2 Tz'ikin where we've identified maybe the negatives and the positives. We've gone through 3 Ajmak where we've realised, okay, we could have done that better, but you know what? It's time to move on, so let's forgive ourselves and move on. And then along comes four knock, say, right, okay, let's get a solid plan and put it into action, because that's what four knock is doing. It's time to get out there. It's time to actually really, like, I was going to say put pen to paper, but I think putting pen to paper is maybe a little bit past it. Maybe that is kind of like write your plan down or whatever it might be. But for me, four knock is really about getting it into action. We had enough time to think it through. Let's get out there and make something solid. So if there is a problem to be solved, it is a day to come up with a practical solution and get it into action. Because the four is like, take it out of your mind, because it's not going to do so much good in there, and get it down out into the physical world. Four knock is suggesting it's time to do that. From four knock, we're then going into five Tijax. Tijax, the obsidian blade, the representative of the surgeon, of the warrior, the one who's cutting through to the truth, the one who's cutting through to beauty. And here we see it with the number 5, the number of one hand, representing work. The number representing, again, putting our energy into it. So with 5 Tijax, this is the time to, kind of like get to work on it, right? This is like, okay, we want to bring healing to ourselves. We want to bring healing to our world, to the earth. We want to bring healing and purify. I see Tijax as the purifier. Tijax is cutting away the mundane, it's cutting through the lies, it's cutting through that which is causing the body to go out of balance. That's the way that it brings healing through that surgery, in order to bring purity, in order to bring the best out of things. And so if we were looking at it as a day for clearing up trash from our local environment, because this is a way that we could show that we love Mother Earth, a way that we could show that we're looking after her, cleaning up the altars, cleaning up, of course, kind of like stuff which is going on inside of us. Again, if we're looking at it from the point of view of healing, well, it would be great if it was spontaneous, but usually we're going to have to put some energy into it. And so if you're needing to put some energy into purifying your world or purifying yourself, 5 Tijax is a wonderful day to do that. After 5 Tijax, we come to 6 Kawok. Kawok, the Nawal of the rain, the Nawal of the storm. Kawok, the Nawal of the midwife. And here we see it with the number 6. The number 6 representing the ultimate stability, bringing it to the family, helping to understand how to draw on heaven and earth in order to bring it into the physical realm. And what are we bringing in? New birth. We're bringing in something where, like, it's helping things to move forward. It's the second part of that healing. We did the work in 5 Tijax, and now comes the stabilization of that healing process in 6 Kawok. 6 Kawok could be seen as a day for family healing. If any of you are into making your family constellations, maybe 6 Kawok might be one of the most powerful days for the healing benefits that comes through that kind of work. But we could also see it as the day on which we help to move things forward, because Kawok is the storm that pushes things through, that brings that birth into the world. And here it's doing it in the ultimately stable way. This combined with the 6. So again, anything that you're trying to bring new into the world, anything that you're trying to bring healing to, then 6 Kawok would possibly be one of the very favourable days on which to do it. From 6 Kawok, we're then moving into 7 Ajpu. Wukub Hunachpu. Okay? The old sun. Now, it always intrigues me that as we go through the calendar, of course we see different characters from the Popol Vuh pop up. And Wukub Hunachpu was one of the first brothers, the first twins that went into the underworld. In a way, we could see Wukub, the number 7, as representing the old. We can see it as representing dead or death. And Ajpu, or Ajpu, we can see as a sun. So it's like the end of the old sun. It's the death of the old sun. And Ajpu can also represent leaders. It can represent leadership. And so, kind of like one of the things that we can see with 7 Ajpu, because we can see it like a sun as being a civilization as being an age, a time of something. And so, in some ways, 7 Ajpu could be seen as the end of the old god, maybe the end of an old leader, where that sun, kind of like goes into the underworld, as they would see, like as the sun sets. And it's like, right, okay, that day is done, that day is dead. And so it can be like the descent of that leader into the underworld. It can also be seen as, kind of like the end of an era, of course. And so 7 Ajpu could be quite a big day in that way. Ajpu is also, we can see it as, the ability to see the divine, the ability to see, kind of like the brightness in things. And here we see it with the number 7, and the number 7 representing standing on top of the pyramid can show us all our choices. And so as we go through, okay, we might see it as this kind of like end of an era or something like that. But also, if we see the 7 as being like the end of the era because we got to the top of the mountain, as it were, from the top of the mountain where we can see all around us. And so it's like being able to see all of the divine paths which are open to us, which in this Trecena of Ix is something that we are re-identifying. It's like, right, okay, I've finished this bit now. I've finished this, kind of like this part of the work on my sacred path. Where am I going next? From my mountain view, from the top of the pyramid, I can identify the best places to go. That 7 Ajpu day is going to take us through to 1 Ajpu in 20 days' time. It's going to take us to a new spiritual path in 20 days' time. So 7 Ajpu is a great day to identify that. Where is your new magic going to lie? Which new hero's journey are you ready to take? Well, 7 Ajpu might be the end of one journey and the pause of 20 days to take stock of where your spiritual journey will go from there. From 7 Ajpu, we're then going into 8 Imox, the celebration of the lakes, the celebration of the water element. Now, of course, it's interesting that this is going to turn up in the Trecena of Ix, where we're celebrating our connection with Mother Earth. And of course, we wouldn't have much connection if it wasn't for the water, which keeps us alive. And so 8 Imox, if there was a day to make your water ceremonies, it would be 8 Imox. If there was a day to do a beach cleanup, it would be 8 Imox, because that's a water ceremony as well. 8 Imox, also a ceremony, a celebration of the dreams, celebration of the spirit that comes to you to help you to understand and identify your dreams, to connect with Mother Earth through the water element, through the lakes and the seas. From 8 Imox, we're then going into 9 Ix, the breath of life. Ix, the Nawal of the wind which fills our lungs, the wind which brings us the ability to breathe and the ability to speak. And here we could also see it as the word of life. The 9 could very much represent our connection with the feminine, and so it may be a day on which the words of women are particularly important and are particularly heard, more so than other days. So if there's something to be said, that's a good day for the women to say it. But also, it's the breath of life. It's a day to celebrate our breath, a day for breath work perhaps as well. And so, for me, this day is a day to really celebrate each breath that we take, each breath that comes to us. Again, this is a very feminine Trecena. Ish is the most feminine of the Nawalas. It means she of. And here we see the breath of life. We see the breath of the feminine coming to us. And so it's a day to give thanks, to make ceremony for every breath that we take. It's a day to use our words to bring life. From 9 Ix, we're then going into 10 Akbal. Akbal representing the dawn and the dusk, representing the bringing things out of the darkness and into the light. This number 10 representing the community coming together, representing society. So 10 Akbal could be very much about revelations from society, things which may have been hidden in the darkness, which are being brought out into the light. It could very much represent new concepts for society coming in. And so 10 Akbal may bring, kind of like a fair share of, well, let's say surprises that come from community, that come from society. Because, we could see it as the movement from the night into the day. Here I am talking to you at sunrise. It's literally the movement from night into day as we're enjoying this light coming back. Well, that's what Akbal does. And, if you came down here at night, you certainly wouldn't see this view in quite the same way. It's taken the light to reveal it. And so this is Akbal. And so this is why I say it's bringing things that have been hidden to light. And these things that have been hidden are brought in by the community through cooperation, through agreements. And so we might expect some revelations on the 10 Akbal day. And it's asking us, how can we bring our new concepts to the community with regards to looking after Mother Earth, with regards to looking after the shrines and the altars? How can we work together to bring those things in? From 10 Akbal, we're then going to 11 Kat. Well, the 11 days can often be rather, well, I was going to say chaotic. Maybe chaotic is not exactly the word that I should use. They might certainly be, let's say, unpredictable. Because the 11, going in many different directions. It's looking over there, it's looking over there, it's looking over there, it's looking over there. And then paired with Kat. Kat being the one who is helping us to understand what we want to hold on to and what we want to let go of. What we're going to keep in our net and what we're going to release from our net. So when we look at it like that, this is a great decluttering day, but it might be one of those days, maybe you say, well, I've got a lot of stuff hanging out in my attic that I need to let go of. And you go to your attic, and as you're looking through, you're like, right, okay, this stuff I'm never going to use again, so that I'm going to take to the, to the Goodwill, or I'm going to take to, kind of like a recycle or whatever it might be. But as you go through, you find that thing, and you're like, oh, I remember this. You know how you get a bit distracted sometimes when you're trying to declutter? You set out with all those good intentions, and then it just kind of like goes a little bit wrong in that way. So, like, it could be one of those kind of days. But what I would say is that it is an excellent day to look into the deepest recesses of your world, of your life, of your net, and work out what it's time to let go of, what attachments it's time to drop. And, with the 11, it might take you to some places that you really weren't thinking to go or understanding to go. But it's a powerful number, it's a strong number, and it's taking you there through your intuition. Time to, release some things that it's, kind of like that don't fit your view of the magical world, that don't connect with Mother Earth, that don't connect with the feminine. And maybe also time to, hold on to some other things. Maybe it's time to capture, maybe it's time to, kind of like bring into the net what needs to be put there. From 11 Cat, we're then going into 12 Can. So a powerful day, Can, the representative of, well, our power, also our wisdom. This Trecena has been about our connection with the shrines and the altars, our connection with Mother Earth, our connection with the magic around us and within it. And I would say that in order to do so, we need to understand our own power and how to use it, how to work with it, how to bring out its benefits. 12 Can is a day to focus on the wisdom and the power that comes from our life experience. Because this is really, our best teacher of all, isn't it? As we've gone through our life, we've experienced, maybe we've experienced some magical things. Maybe we've experienced the power that comes from our connection to Mother Earth. Maybe we've experienced the power that comes to us from being around those magical places. And as we work with that, and no doubt as we get older, well, hopefully, we get wiser. 12 Can is a day to go through that and assess what it has brought to us, because the 12 is bundling it all together. It's like writing our autobiography. Can also be seen as the teacher. And so this is the teacher which is coming to us through our life experience. This is the teacher that's helping to empower others through life experience. 12 Can is a wonderful day to share your life experience, to empower the next generation, to empower those around you, to help yourself and others to see through any illusions in the world. That's what 12 can bring it. It's like, how do we use our life experience to do it? Well, hopefully, kind of like by a certain age, we should have kind of like worked some things out. It's a great day to help to drop the illusions, to help to embrace the feminine, to work with the feminine in a greater way. It's a great day to drop any illusions that we might have with regards to, like our connection to Mother Earth and the environment. And it's a great day to bring together, as I said, to share what life experience we have, to share our wisdom, to empower those around us. And then finally, we come to the 13th day of the Trecena, 13 Kame. This I see as a day when the veil between the worlds may be very thin, because we have Kame representing the ancestors, representing the dead. We also have the number 13 representing the ancestors, the spirit, and the dead. So I would say it's a great day for things like mediumship and getting in touch, with the ancestors and that. But quite honestly, I think the potential for the kind of like the words to come through are such that like it will come through thick and fast if you know it, if you connect with it, if you choose to. Kame can also be about facing our fears. And on 13 Kame, of course, this is a very, very strong day to be facing them. Maybe they are fears that come from spirit. Maybe they're fears that come from our ancestors. Maybe they are, challenges that come in a very strong way. But what are we doing? We're finishing up this Trecena about our connection to the feminine, our connection to Mother Earth, and our connection to our magic, and our connection to the shrines and the altars. And here we have that connection with the ancestors coming through and saying, hey, kind of like, you may fear reconnecting with some of those things, but we're here to help you. There's a message to come through on 13 Kame that help, it's the ancestors walking with us and helping us to overcome our fears. And so it's a great day to connect, whether it is in, through divination or whatever means it might be, to connect with the ancestral world, to connect with spirit, and to understand how our connection with the ancestors can help us to overcome whatever fears that we might have in order to move forwards in our connection with Mother Earth, in order to move forwards in our connection with the altars. So, of course, it's a great day to visit ancestral places, a great day to make that divination, to understand how, kind of like the guidance of the ancestors or spirit might help us to overcome our fears. So, that's the Trecena of Ix. I hope that this has been useful to you. I hope that you've enjoyed the words and the scenery. And I look forward to seeing you again in 13 days' time for the Trecena of Ix. Thank you.